Welcome to our deep dive on securing your retirement with an unconventional playbook designed for people with unusually generous employer benefits. We will unpack how to capture every dollar of free money, why the HSA is uniquely powerful, how to diversify tax buckets to reduce future tax risk, and how to aim for the rare total annual max limit when your employer contributes heavily. We will also include a healthy disclaimer, because rules change and plans differ. First, let's preview the journey with today's agenda. Here's the roadmap. First, we'll explain why abnormal employer matches are a once-in-a-career opportunity. Next, we'll cover 4 actions. Capture the full match, prioritize the HSA, diversify your tax buckets with Roth strategies, and aim for the total annual limit when possible. Then, we'll tackle a controversial prioritization around 529 plans. After that, we'll walk step by step through a practical implementation. Finally, we'll reinforce concepts with quizzes and visuals. Now let's begin by understanding why an unconventional match can be transformational. Abnormally generous employer matches, like a 2x match plus a salary-based bonus, can dramatically accelerate your savings. This advantage compounds over time, potentially creating a path to financial independence far earlier than traditional strategies. However, the benefits are only fully realized if you capture every eligible dollar and understand the vesting schedule. With that foundation set, let's move into Action 1 and ensure you collect all the free money available. Step 1 is simple but critical. Always contribute at least enough to receive the full match. If your plan puts you above 20% of salary saved immediately due to employer contributions, you're compounding at a pace most workers never reach. However, do not assume matched dollars are immediately yours. Review the vesting schedule, which may be 3 to 5 years, and plan your tenure accordingly so that you do not forfeit unvested funds. With the match locked in, let's transition to the most tax-advantaged account available for many high savers, the Health Savings Account. This flowchart depicts a priority pipeline. First, you capture the 401k match to secure free money. Next, you fully fund the HSA for its triple tax advantage. Then, you maximize a Roth IRA or use a backdoor Roth if income limits apply. Afterward, direct extra savings to a Roth 401k to build tax-free assets. If your plan allows after-tax contributions and in-plan conversions, add the mega backdoor Roth for even more Roth space. Finally, place any overflow into a taxable brokerage account. At each step, verify vesting, plan rules, and current IRS limits. Now that we've set the sequence, let's dive deeper into why the HSA comes next. Before increasing contributions beyond the 401k match, prioritize the HSA because it offers a triple tax advantage. Contributions reduce taxable income, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax-free. Consider investing the HSA rather than spending from it now, and use out-of-pocket cash for current medical expenses when feasible, saving receipts for possible future reimbursement. Over time, this approach allows the HSA to compound like a stealth retirement account. With the HSA secured, we can now address tax diversification to manage future tax risk. On the left, the Roth bucket is funded with after-tax dollars and grows tax-free withdrawals. Roth IRAs are not subject to required minimum distributions, and Roth 401k funds can potentially be rolled to a Roth IRA to avoid RMDs. This makes Roth a powerful hedge against higher future tax rates and a strong candidate for your personal contributions, especially when the employer is contributing heavily pre-tax. On the right, traditional accounts reduce current taxable income but generate taxable withdrawals and are subject to required minimum distributions. Since employers usually fund traditional contributions, using Roth for personal contributions helps you balance the mix. With that balance in mind, let's spell out the tax bucket strategy in Action 3. Since employers typically contribute pre-tax to traditional accounts, shift your personal contributions toward Roth to diversify tax exposure. Maximize a Roth IRA first for maximum control and flexibility, and then channel any remaining personal savings into the Roth 401k option. By building a meaningful tax-free pool, you reduce your dependence on taxable withdrawals later and mitigate the impact of future required minimum distributions. If your income exceeds Roth IRA limits, use the backdoor Roth process and maintain thorough documentation. Next, we will visualize a target allocation using a pie chart for tax buckets. This pie chart shows an illustrative mix, a majority in traditional due to large employer contributions, a substantial Roth portion from personal contributions, and a meaningful HSA slice for tax-free medical spending. The exact percentages are personal and should reflect your employer's generosity, your current and expected future tax rates, and your time horizon. Now that the mix is clear, let's pursue the rare but powerful goal of reaching the total annual contribution limit when employer funding is very high. If your employer contributes heavily, set your sights on the total annual additions limit, which includes both employee and employer funding, and is adjusted for inflation. Achieving this early in your career multiplies compounding advantages and may substantially shorten the time to financial independence. Monitor the limits annually and leverage plan features such as after-tax 401k contributions with in-plan conversions, known as the Mega Backdoor Roth, if available. Next, we'll structure these actions into a practical, step-by-step plan you can implement. Follow this sequence to execute the strategy. First, ensure your 401k contribution captures the entire match from day one. Second, check the vesting schedule and plan your tenure to avoid forfeiting unvested amounts. Third, fully fund and invest your HSA, saving receipts to preserve the option of future qualified reimbursements. Fourth, maximize a Roth IRA, or use the backdoor Roth if you exceed the income threshold. Fifth, channel additional savings to the Roth 401k. Sixth, if your plan allows, add after-tax 401k contributions and convert them to Roth using the Mega Backdoor approach. Seventh, place any remaining funds into a taxable brokerage while automating contributions and rebalancing. Finally, review IRS limits and plan rules annually and adjust accordingly. Now let's reinforce key numbers and priorities with a simple reference table. This table summarizes the priority order and the rationale for each account. It also flags that limits and eligibility are subject to change and may depend on your plan documents. Always verify the current IRS thresholds and your plan's specific rules before executing each step. After this quick reference, we will address a controversial but practical prioritization regarding education savings accounts. While saving for future dependents is important, prioritize your own foundation before committing to 529 plans. The reason is simple. Retirement accounts with stronger tax advantages and larger contribution space can create a more powerful compounding engine. Once your retirement strategy is robust, full match captured, HSA maxed, Roth spaces filled, and contributions aligned with plan limits, you can add 529 funding with greater confidence. With priorities clarified, let's check your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: which account typically comes immediately after securing the full 401k match in this playbook? Options are A. Taxable brokerage, B. Roth IRA, C. HSA, and D. Traditional IRA. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is C. The HSA. Its triple tax advantage generally makes it the next priority after securing the full 401k match. Now that we've confirmed that, let's move to a second quick question about tax bucket strategy. Question: if your employer contributes heavily to traditional pre-tax accounts, which personal contribution choice best diversifies your tax buckets? Options are A. Increase traditional 401k contributions, B. Prioritize Roth contributions such as Roth IRA or Roth 401k, C. Stop contributing until retirement, and D. Only use a taxable brokerage. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Prioritizing Roth contributions provides tax diversification against the employer's traditional funding and helps build a tax-free pool that can mitigate future required minimum distributions. With the quizzes complete, let's visualize vesting to reinforce how timing affects how much of the match you ultimately own. This timeline illustrates a common graded vesting pattern: 0% at the start, then increasing ownership each year until reaching full vesting. Some plans use cliff vesting, where nothing vests until a certain year, and then all at once. Your actual schedule may differ, so review your plan documents to avoid forfeiting unvested funds if you consider a job change. Next, we will consolidate the main takeaways so you can act with confidence. The most important actions are to capture the entire match, fully fund the HSA, use Roth channels for personal contributions to balance employer pre-tax dollars, and target the total annual additions limit when employer funding is high. Delay 529 contributions until your retirement engine is fully prioritized. Finally, review IRS limits and plan rules annually to stay aligned. Before we close, let's include an important disclaimer to keep you safe and compliant. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Account limits, tax rules, and plan features change periodically. Your employer plan may have unique rules, including vesting schedules, matching formulas, after-tax contribution availability, and in-plan conversion options. Always consult your plan documents, HER, and a qualified professional before implementing any strategy. With that clarified, let's provide a concise Markdown cheat sheet you can screenshot for reference. Here is a Markdown-style cheat sheet summarizing the order of operations, essential checks, and targets. It emphasizes capturing the full match, maximizing the HSA, filling Roth buckets, using after-tax 401k with in-plan conversions where available, and then using a taxable account. It also reminds you to understand vesting, confirm plan features, monitor IRS limits, and maintain HSA receipts. Finally, it highlights the goal of reaching the total annual additions limit when employer dollars are large, and building a strong tax-free pool to manage future RMDs. To wrap up, let's summarize and close with a call to action. In summary, abnormal employer matches can be the catalyst for extraordinary long-term results when you grab every dollar, prioritize the HSA, diversify with Roth strategies, and aim for the total additions limit as plan rules allow. Remember to verify all current limits and your plan specifics annually. Now let's close with a quick thank you and a creative call to action. Thank you for watching. If this playbook helped you think differently about maximizing employer benefits, please like the video, share it with a colleague who might have an unusually generous match, and subscribe for more strategy-focused content. Finally, tell us in the comments, what's the most surprising employer benefit you've ever seen?